In the grand tapestry of global economics, India often stands out as a remarkable thread, woven with tales of soaring GDP figures and a burgeoning middle class. The narrative of India as an economic powerhouse has been told and retold, celebrated in boardrooms and coffee shops alike. Yet, beneath this glittering surface lies a complex and often contradictory reality that challenges the very notion of success. The statistics may dazzle, but they mask a more profound truth. Millions of Indians continue to live in stark poverty, grappling with issues that paint a much bleaker picture than the headlines suggest. Consider the numbers. India's GDP has surged, catapulting the nation into discussions of global dominance and economic clout. Yet, this growth has not translated into universal prosperity. According to the World Bank, over 364 million people in India live on less than $1.90 a day, the international poverty line. This stark reality raises questions about the very nature of economic growth. Is it truly a success story when a significant portion of the population remains marginalized and disenfranchised? The answer lies in the nuances of income inequality, where the wealth generated by a few does not trickle down to the many. The irony is palpable when one examines India's global hunger ranking. Despite the country's economic advancements, it ranks poorly on the Global Hunger Index, a stark reminder of the paradox that exists within its borders. While some cities boast skyscrapers and luxury malls, rural areas still struggle with malnutrition and food insecurity. Children, the future of the nation, face the grim reality of stunting, a condition that affects their growth and cognitive development, rendering them vulnerable to a life of limited opportunities. The statistics are not just numbers. They represent lives, dreams unfulfilled, and a generation at risk. In the media landscape, a certain hypocrisy emerges, particularly among some Indian commentators who readily criticize neighboring countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka for their economic challenges. They point fingers at their neighbors, highlighting issues of governance, poverty, and social strife, while conveniently glossing over the pressing issues that plague their own nation. This selective scrutiny raises uncomfortable questions about national pride and the underlying motivations for such attitudes. Is it an attempt to deflect attention from India's own struggles, or is it rooted in a desire to assert superiority in a region fraught with complexities? The media's portrayal of neighboring countries often lacks the nuance necessary to understand the systemic issues at play. Bangladesh, for instance, has made significant strides in reducing poverty and improving health outcomes. Yet Indian commentators often overlook these achievements in favor of a narrative that positions India as the regional leader. This not only distorts perceptions, but also fosters a sense of complacency within India, as citizens may feel less compelled to address their own country's challenges when they are preoccupied with comparisons to others. Income inequality is another critical aspect that complicates the narrative of India's economic growth. The wealth gap is widening, with a small percentage of the population amassing a significant portion of the nation's wealth. The rise of billionaires in India is often celebrated, yet it raises ethical questions about the distribution of resources and opportunities. As the rich get richer, the poor remain trapped in a cycle of poverty, struggling to access basic necessities like education, healthcare, and clean water. This disparity not only undermines social cohesion, but also threatens the very fabric of democracy, as marginalized voices remain unheard in a system that favors the affluent. The implications of India's economic reality extend beyond its borders. The perception of neighboring countries is often colored by India's own struggles, leading to a distorted view of regional dynamics. Critics argue that India's self-image as an emerging global power is built on shaky foundations as the country grapples with its internal contradictions. The narrative of dominance is compelling, yet it is essential to question whether India is genuinely on the path to global leadership or merely trapped in an illusion of grandeur. Acknowledging these uncomfortable truths is not an act of pessimism, but rather a necessary step towards progress. By recognizing the complexities of its economic landscape, India can begin to address the systemic issues that hinder inclusive growth. This acknowledgement can foster a sense of accountability among policymakers, encouraging them to prioritize social welfare and equitable development. The focus should shift from mere statistics to the lived experiences of millions, ensuring that growth is not just a number, but a reality that touches every citizen's life. Moreover, the conversation surrounding India's economic narrative must include a critical examination of its role in the region. Rather than positioning itself as a superior entity, India has the opportunity to engage with its neighbors constructively, sharing knowledge and resources to address common challenges. By fostering collaboration rather than competition, India can contribute to a more stable and prosperous South Asia, where the successes of one nation can uplift others. In conclusion, the narrative of India as a global success story is undeniably compelling, yet it is essential to peel back the layers to reveal the complexities beneath. The soaring GDP figures tell only part of the story, masking the stark realities of poverty, hunger, and inequality that persist within the nation. As India navigates its path toward global prominence, it must confront these uncomfortable truths and embrace a more inclusive vision for its future. Only then can it hope to transform the illusion of grandeur into a tangible reality that benefits all its citizens and fosters a sense of solidarity within the region. The journey toward true economic success is not merely about numbers. It is about people, their stories, and the collective aspiration for a brighter tomorrow.